Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
Fun podcast today. If you missed the show, about 9 minutes in, how do you mention to a loved one that they've gained a little bit too much weight?
That's a tough conversation. How do you bring up to a pig that their balls are too big? That's at 23 minutes in.
Enjoy the podcast, guys. What's the biggest monetary tip you've ever received?
Probably, I don't know, like $50 when I worked at Rainforest Cafe. Like, people would come in and spend a lot of money. Like, if you had an 8-top, you'd have the gratuity worked into your check. But then if you had like anything smaller, a 6-top or smaller, then you'd get tipped out.
The reason I asked, my daughter came home from work and she's a server, and she just got this job, I don't know, a couple months ago. She's, obviously trying to make some money as she's headed to college here
for her
in a month. And yesterday during her short shift, she made $300 in tips.
What was she
and I was like,
doing?
Yeah.
Serving up tacos.
Yeah, and she's a pleasant girl. Outside our home.
What a great description.
For the most part, she's a really nice person if she's not dealing with her family. Mm-hmm. And I think she knows how to turn it on and turn it off. And I told her the trick of signing it, thanks, Reagan, and then put a smiley face.
Yeah.
It shows up, you get up to 20% more tips. And she started to do it, and she started to see the money, right? But she came home last night, she's like, I got an extra $300.
Yeah.
And I started thinking to myself, we don't have a job where we ever get a tip. I've worked maybe one job my entire life where tipping was okay. And that was when I scooped ice cream at a Haagen-Dazs, and we had a little tip jar out front. And my boss was smart enough that he always made it, if you got one scoop, it came to I think it was $1.86. And everybody would just throw those 14 cents in the tip jar. And so at the end of the night, you split it up with somebody else, and it would equal $8 or $9 extra.
I did not mind splitting my tips with the guys that came to clean up, the bus boys.
Yeah.
Because thank you quickly for cleaning out the table, making it look nice, and getting ready for the next people. I didn't mind that. I was, however, very taken aback as to how little tips I got at the Benton County Fair. So listen, if you went to the beer garden, I'm talking to you. If you
it's a cashless bar. What did you expect?
Then what is the excuse for the people that did tip me? They had $1 per drink.
I was always taught that's what it was, too. If you go to the bar, it's $1 a drink.
I do. Yeah. I leave behind $1, and then if they give me change, I leave behind the change on top of the dollar.
Like if you buy a round, if you're out with 5 of your friends and you say, I need 6 beers, and all they do is, I'm not leaving $6, but...
Yeah. I did my hair, did my makeup. I was looking cute, but then at one point I did go to the bathroom, and it was so sweaty that I looked like I had been working in a factory for 30 hours in Ecuador. I was like, this is it was stuck to my forehead.
I didn't want to go down the, hey, what's you in the porta potty situation, but what's the biggest tip you ever got? I mean, I was like, holy cow, she $300 and she works half a day. And I was like, that's pretty good. I know it's not always, but are you in a job, or did you ever have a job where you just came home one night and you had a pocket full of dough? Because the tipping was so good at your job. I'll never experience that, probably.
Yeah, I don't blame the people that are teachers and they teach all year and then they go and bartend throughout the summer. It's make that money.
So weird.
Weird stuff.
Everybody called me weird. I am weird.
You don't think this is a little weird?
No, I don't think it's weird at all.
Weird news.
It is weird when grown men throw temper tantrums. This guy, however, arrested after police say he stole an excavator and then drove nearly a mile down the street and started ripping up the ground at a grocery store parking lot in Salt Lake City.
This was very unusual. We're fortunate that there were no crashes. No one was injured. Once the person got to the parking lot and was just kind of swinging the front loader around, a lot of community members called 911 wondering what was going on here.
Hey, he was driving that car.
Do you have the skill set where you could steal a excavator?
I guess once you hit a button and see it go forward, then maybe you're like, I'm onto something. But evidently he said he wasn't getting treated well at that grocery store. Is that where we're at? That we can't use our words? We have to go find an excavator and drive it and wreck the property? That is what's weird.
When you have little kids and they really start liking a movie, you'll usually buy it, right? You get it on DVD or maybe, I mean, now it's a little bit different now. I mean, I guess if you have a Netflix subscription, you can just pull it up anytime. But I remember vividly when my kids were smaller and we'd watch Finding Nemo, I would fast forward through that opening scene because I didn't like that it set the tone with the mom and all the babies dying.
What kind of fish was that killed her?
I don't know. And then all the then it goes to basically it fast forwards to Nemo and Dad are getting ready to go to school and he's going to touch the butt and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Well,
so
which
just
is
showing your kids that nothing bad can happen.
Great
in life.
movie, but I hate that scene. And so I thought, all right, well, this would be kind of an interesting conversation. And you had a movie right away when I said, "What movie do you love?"
Yeah,
but you hate.
So I love this movie because I love scary movies, but it's the end. Where did you shorten it up? Because I think I had too long of a clip.
Well,
but
it's the very end. You know this movie?
Blair Witch. They're trying to find Josh. And there she goes down. Like she goes down into the basement and Mike.
He's just there in the corner.
Just standing.
Oh!
Yeah, that is the spookiest. But I shouldn't give you crap because I do fast forward through the beginning of Up. Because my grandma is Ellie.
Oh, yeah.
And my grandparents are so small and cute like that.
You almost have to get to the part where the kid's knocking on the door.
Yes. He's like, oh, you want to buy a candy bar or whatever he does. That's the only thing I can't stand about that movie. It hits too close to home.
This morning, we're kind of examining movies that we think are really, really awesome. But they've got one scene that kind of makes them suck.
Well, suck in the sense that maybe you don't want to feel a certain way, like you don't want to feel scared or you don't want to feel really sad. And most of the time it happens like in Disney movies right away. So you can set the plot that someone's going to be
Bambi,
orphaned. There's no
mommy dies?
Yeah, all the moms die. Or there's no moms present. Isn't that weird?
They're all orphaned up.
Did we ever find out why Disney had that psyche? Did he have a mom?
Well, I just think about the link between a child and a mother is so profound that when you break that link, you're backing that baby so much. It's the underdog, you know what I mean? And that's how they build up that love for it. So for me, it's Nemo, the opening scene when Nemo's mom dies. And for Kat, it was the Blair Witch at the end. She just ends it early. Oh, yeah. They must find their way home. Good for them.
I know exactly how it's going to end, and it's very spooky in the basement, and he's facing the wall like all the bad kids used to do.
Raylene's Marley and Me and Up It, right?
Yeah. My little brother would always want to watch it, and we'd watch it up until the end, and I'd be like, oh, movie's all done. We can't watch the end of the movie.
I've never seen Marley and Me. I know the dog dies.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
How does the dog die? Like a car accident, sickness? How does he die?
It's not like traumatic. Well, I mean, it's traumatic whenever a dog dies in my life, but it's like,
yeah.
He kind of just gets old and sick, and they just have to, like, put him
shoot
down,
it?
you know, like at the vet. No, gosh, no.
It's like Old Yeller Part 2, man.
But they just put him down at the vet. But I've been there when I've had to have dogs put down at the vet. So
he's such a good dog through the movie, too. You know what I mean? Like, he helps the whole family.
Tell me if you agree with this one. Like, I can't handle the scene with Stepmom with Susan Sarandon where it's Christmas. And then,
oh my God, yeah.
Oh, the kids get to go upstairs and I'm going to cry right now and unwrap the boxes of her. And it's their last Christmas with their mom. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a hard one. That and Lion King. I always skip through when Mufasa dies. I can't watch that part.
Yeah,
either.
the death fears.
Yeah. All right. This has been fun.
So I have a friend who was talking to me at lunch the other day about her husband who, after 11 years, you look different. After you get married, you look amazing on your wedding day. And then you settle in, you get comfortable. Maybe there's a lot of chaos or worry and you
stress
pack on
with
the pounds.
Kids and family economics and everything. Yeah, of course you put on a couple pounds.
And they have 2 kids. And he, over the last, I guess when the pandemic started, she said he's put on 40 to 45 pounds.
It's not uncommon.
And it's not uncommon, but it's getting to the point where it is going to start affecting his health, if not already. His knees are hurting, she said, all the time. His back back is hurting. They want to plan a trip, and he has shot down any trip that involves physical activity. Like she wanted to go to Wyoming. She wanted to go to all these places, and it's just not working for him. And she's like, I get worried. Like, I don't want him to have a heart attack and then our kids not have a dad. But how do you have that conversation? She was okay with me talking about it as long as I don't use her name. But how does that even go? Like, I love you so much and I want you to be around forever and ever. And she constantly works out. Like, she, every single day, sometimes twice a day, during her lunch break, she'll go do a spin class or whatever. So she's very physically fit, but he is not. And so I just told her, I'd throw the question out there. Have you ever had to have that conversation with a loved one where that's a tough one, because it's like, oh, you're not attracted to me anymore. It's like, no, I'm not attracted to you. I'm just wanting you to be around.
Yeah, but that's what goes through the lines there.
Yes, I know.
Like, if you say, hey, I'd really like you to lose 30 pounds so that you're around for our kids, nobody doesn't take that as you think I'm a fat, disgusting pig and you're not attracted to me anymore.
But I mean, if you lose that weight, it is an extra perk that somebody will be like, wow. But you know what's more attractive? Saying
money? Oh.
Well, all right, now I got to change my answer. No, you know what is more attractive is you listening to them and saying, I want to be around for you. Oh. That's attractive. I want to be around for my grandkids. So, I don't know. Tina says, does she prepare his meals and lunches? Starts in the kitchen. She shops very healthy.
But we talked about this yesterday. He's on the road. Like, he knows that he's eating crap every day in drive-thrus.
She doesn't know what he eats. I mean,
she can tell.
He has cash.
Yeah, but obviously you can tell. Yeah. There's going to be wrappers left behind. And if you're putting on that kind of weight, you're probably not eating right.
Dennis had texted, I had to have this conversation with my wife. She started developing health issues. She actually gained 100 pounds in 6 years. So guess who knows that she's gained 100 pounds in 6 years? Your wife does.
Yeah, I'm sure she's aware. Some people do turn a blind eye to this, though. They go, hey, you got to love me for me.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And I wanted to bring Tammy on because I knew right off the bat you had said you would never bring this up.
No.
Would it reach a point where you would do it out of the explanation of like health?
For their health, like they gained so much weight or they weren't eating enough to like in that way.
Yeah. Yes. She has no idea how to bring it up to her husband because he has since COVID started put on probably about 45 pounds, like a lot of weight. He lost his job and now he drives for a living. So he really doesn't like get out and move or anything. And she is hardcore into fitness.
She's doing stuff to change their lifestyle together. Like, is she supporting having positive meals and not eating out and making meals together and healthy snacks? Is she doing all that, or is she?
She's very into fitness, but like while he's on the road, she can't sit there and police what he eats. He could be going through drive-thrus the whole time. Obviously, he might be.
I mean, that's just something that you have to live with. Your body changes in a relationship, but that doesn't change your relationship.
Yeah, Trish and I went for a walk, took the dog for a walk last night. We were talking about this, and I said we're going to have it on the show. And she brought up, like, my big frustration right now with my neck being broken is I can't do anything difficult.
Yeah.
I can bike, and that's fine. I'll get on for an hour and do that. But I'm really missing lifting weights. And she had said, well, why do you miss it so much? I'm like, I think it's because I want to be here longer. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't want to be jacked for a contest or anything anymore, but I want to, like, live as long as I can. And I know if you have more muscle versus fat, your chance of living longer is better. Like, that's what
have there been studies done?
Thousands of studies done.
Prove it.
But that's my thing. And I'm like, I'm so frustrated right now because I'm not supposed to lift anything more than 5 pounds. So it's really driving me crazy. So if you've been in this situation where you had to sit like the person you love the most down, look them in the eye and be like, hey, something's got to change because we need you around a little bit longer. How'd that conversation go?
Radio Paparazzi.
Singer-songwriter Olivia Newton-John passed away at the age of 73, and obviously you know her from most notably Grease. People call you and I the Danny and Sandy of central Minnesota. Right. So this hits close to home. But no, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She wrote a book. She thrived. And that's what she called herself, a cancer thriver, not survivor, because she was living life to the fullest. And a lot of people moved by her journey. And Kate Hudson, listen to her singing voice. She took to Instagram and just kind of, paid homage to her.
My heart is saying, don't let go.
I love this song.
Hold on to the end. That's what I intend to do. And I hope that's the devoted to you.
There you go. Expose the kids to some of that stuff. Jam out today if you can in honor of Miss Olivia. All right, Aaron Rodgers, he was on with a podcast, and the hosts, I think they took it a little bit too far with razzing him about not being vaccinated.
How would you describe yourself?
I think in general, I'd like to present myself how I see myself. So unapologetically authentic. You like me or don't like me, that's not my concern at this point. My concern is just speaking the truth. And, and people say, oh, well, immunization, vaccination.
Yeah, I did. I said that a lot.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
But
how many people do you think you killed?
Oh, geez.
What's your count? How many grandmothers? Let's just do grandmothers.
I mean, I know you guys are around. I don't find that part funny. I really don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just dubbing him a super spreader. That's where they say how many people did you kill by, spreading
Shame on you for following Aaron Rodgers' medical advice, by the way. Talk to your doctor. Good Lord. If you're following a celebrity's medical advice, you're off anyways. There's no hope for you.
Kevin Federline speaking out. A lot of people talking about how she hasn't seen her kids in the last few months, and that's because they don't dig all of her nudity on Instagram.
The boys have decided that, they're not seeing her right now. It's been a few months since they've actually even seen her. Jamie Spears came to me and it's pretty much, I don't know what to do. I want to help. I saw a man that really cared and wanting everything to be okay,
So you feel Jamie might have saved his daughter?
100%. I feel like he saved her back then.
Or maybe in the beginning, he helped her because she had severe postpartum and nobody ever helped her get it together, and that stuff can take over your mind. But to control her and not let her have her manicures and pedicures or birth control and stuff like that, that's enough to drive somebody out of their mind. So I think it went too far. Okay, so you know how much anxiety I have about my annual.
Your schmear.
There's nothing worse on this planet than to go in and be in that position, let alone finding out that you don't have your female doctor, you have this massively hot man doctor.
Real quick before we start, my feet are normally not this dirty. It's just spray tan. And then I didn't do my toenails. I know that means that I'm not groomed or something, which I'm not. But
way worse.
I know she's a dirty girl. I didn't shave my legs. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Because you're making me all hot and bothered. You're making her nervous.
You need to take some deep breaths in and out.
Can you give me an uglier doctor? We need an uglier doctor.
You're making it worse.
That would be probably, if I had to think about it, worse than having all of my nails pulled off at one time.
If a hot doctor walked in and you were just being your normal self.
Yes, I remember this one day I was just legs up, ready to go, and my doctor comes in. She goes, "Hi, I hope you don't mind, but I'm being shadowed." And I go,
"I
actually do mind." See your way out. I know that you're supposed to be learning on the job, but this girl's not going to let you learn on her body.
Well, she doesn't need that kind of education.
Now you're going to see stuff that you've never seen
in
before.
a book before.
Now, I want to know, if you have this hot doctor walk in, what are you apologizing for first?
Mine wasn't a hot doctor situation, but in a guy's physical, the thing is you got to drop your pants and you got to have your testicles examined, and they check for a hernia.
Sure.
And they make sure that there's not any tumors or anything, right?
Yeah.
And the one time, what he wanted to do is have me stand flat-footed because I had been complaining of hips.
Yeah.
My hips. So he goes, "Okay, jump down." And as he turns, I jump down and just drop my pants because I thought it was that time.
Yeah.
And he turns back around and he goes, "Oh, you want to do that right now? Okay, good." So he grabs back for the rubber gloves.
Oh, eager
and I was like, "What?" And he goes, "I just wanted to see how you were standing, whether or not your hips were displaced." I go, "Oh, well, can you tell from here?" He goes, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
And he, cut two birds with one stone right there. But I guess dropping your pants before they say it's time to drop your pants.
Yeah. That would be it.
Eager beaver.
Maybe if I forgot to shave my toe knuckles, I think that would be it. Do you know how many women have toe hair? So don't walk around acting like you don't, ladies, because you do. You're not better
You can
than
feel
me.
them judging from this side of the radio.
Yeah.
Nice.
If I don't have my toenails done and like everything ready to go and pretty, then I'm not going to the doctor. I'll call in sick.
What do you think you're so naturally gifted with the knowledge of that you could endorse as you hear us endorse products or companies on the air? And I'll tell you, most of the time it's because we get something free. Then usually there's kind of like a talent fee that goes with it. So every time we do a commercial for XYZ, we get a couple of bucks. And it's really funny because there are some people in radio or TV or the media that will endorse anything for a couple of bucks.
That was me when I was 21, 22. I did not care if the audience was going to be let down. It was like free money and free services for me. I can't live that lifestyle anymore. If I'm going to send somebody with my name on it, I want them to have a great
Well, the
time.
problem is you have adult friends that trust you, and they will go out and buy this product, and then they will see you again and go, that thing sucked.
Yeah, I would hate that.
So I think we're both on the same page that we're not going to endorse something we don't believe in or use ourselves. But what are you so, like, naturally accustomed to and you have an expertise in that you could endorse it if that endorsement was open?
Emily texted and said, endorser of coffee here with a little hand emoji. I have about 70 ounces a day.
Coffee,
and
that's a
can
good one.
Spot a decaf coffee
On the flip
a mile away.
side, Dan texted in, I could easily endorse Busch Light.
A Busch Latte. You know
There's the
what?
latte.
When I was bartending the other night, that was by far the most asked for beer, and I've never had a Busch Light in my life.
Ever?
No.
The latte?
No, and at my meeting last night, all the guys on the baseball board were having a Busch Light. I'm like, is there something to it? I got to try it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I think you're just too upper class. You're too bougie.
That might be true.
You're too bougie for the latte. Michael, what are we endorsing here, bud?
Ugly stick fishing rods. It's the only fishing rod I've ever used my whole life. My dad got me into them before he passed away, and I can tell you anything there is to know about an ugly stick. I can tell you that it's got a lifetime warranty, so they can go anywhere from 6 pounds to 8 pounds with you get from Walmart, or you can order them from a special Cabela's, or even Fleet Farm for the medium heavy, which is like $114, which is the rod you're going to want to use.
Why aren't you?
That was awesome. That was really good, man.
Why aren't you in angler retail? Like, I feel like I am not a fisherman, but I'm sold. I would come buy one from you.
Because fishing doesn't pay the bills. That's why.
Fair enough. And what's the name of this? It's I mean, I've got fishing rods in my pontoon and at my cabin, but I don't have any of these. What's the technical name?
Ugly stick. They've been around forever.
Yeah, and Cat got hit with one this morning.
Good morning. Found a date that works for. When are we going? We're going to the state fair. Liam and I make it a day. And I bring extra money so we can park up front. There's nothing worse than walking around the fair all day. My thighs start to chafe, then they burn. And then that last leg of the walk back to your car is unbearable. So we're going on the 26th. I'm very excited. And
why don't you just take one of the buses in? One of the shuttles?
Yuck. No.
It's a coach bus. What's yuck about that?
Yuck.
God, you are a spoiled brat.
I would smell the fuel. I'd barf. All day of trying different cuisines at the state fair and then taking a bus full of hot, stinky people.
It's not. They're air-conditioned buses.
Oh,
God, you are spoiled.
But I mean, if you want to, I'm sure it's a good way and means of transportation. But we love the Sky Glider. It's like one of our favorite things. We hop on and we ride. It's like a ski lift. And you ride over and you'll see this shed. And on top of this pull shed, people throw their underwear, their tampons. It gets a bit funky, and it's a good conversation piece for my now 10-year-old. I explain what everything is, and then he's like, "So there are people walking around right now without their bra on."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, unless they
if you
bring
look
an
close,
extra."
you can tell who they are.
Yeah. So we do that, and then he and I were looking at all the new menu items that were added. So we're gonna split everything
What's
that we
catching your
try.
eye?
I want to try, and you're going to think I'm a loser, but it's a meat-free burger. But it is so good. What it's topped with, it looks incredible. We're going to try some Gator this year, which
Gator's
you didn't
good.
want to.
Gator's delicious.
I want to do the Ye Old Mill. I haven't done that since I was 12. Maybe the Space Tower, but my dad caught wind of it. Liam was talking to him this weekend. They were fishing, and he's like, yeah, we're going to the state fair. And my dad goes, oh, I want to come with.
Bring him with. He's a good
No, I can't bring my dad with. He will stop and talk to everybody.
So what?
He'll want to go sit in like the tractors, not inside where the machine buttons are, but like he'll want me to take pictures of him inside the wheel well and stuff.
Like, here's a 29 John Deere. Take my picture.
Yes. You remember State Fair of what, 08? He wouldn't leave the Sham Wow demo booth. I was like, he goes, I'm just going to grab everyone's sample, and then if you put it all together, it will make one giant Sham Wow. I'm like, Dad, I can't. This year, I'm really hoping my kid can like get it together and go in the haunted house every time we walk by. He just lets me down. You know?
I went to the State Fair once with my family.
You did?
Like not my current family, like my mom, my dad, my sister.
And you haven't been
one
back?
time. No. I went with like my family, but my dad, the one time we went, my dad was so fascinated by the pig with the giant nuts that my mom was like, we're never coming back.
Wait, can I tell you it's not a pig with giant nuts? That's where her milk is stored. And she just had those babies and she's tired.
No. This was the male pig. This was the boar with the huge nuts from behind.
No way.
Yeah. You'd have never seen these?
I've never seen it.
Google it right now.
I just look at the poor mom that lays there and the
mom is
piglets
happy.
are like...
That mom is super happy.
She couldn't be more unhappy.
She's happy as a pig in slop.
People are...
Google it real quick.
What?
State Fair pig with huge nuts.
State Fair. I can't have this in my Google search again.
Oh, like that's worse than Mr. Rogers naked.
State Fair. Oh, yeah. Pig with big nuts. Yeah, other than that, what are you looking forward to? Like, what else is there? Liam wants to go stand in the butt. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
My dad, I was maybe 10 years old. My dad giggled like a little kid and watching this pig walk around and those things just swaying side to side.
Holy cow. Are you okay?
My mom, Gary, we're going. Gary, we're going to be outside.
Stop
my dad
looking at
just laughing. I mean, this is like 9 o'clock in the morning, right? I bet he spent 3 hours there. We had to keep coming back through there. It's like, hey, look at that pig. Hey, look at that pig. You see that pig? Like, and that was just his thing.
You know what's unfortunate is that the ice cold milk is right next to that barn.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to.
Well, you got to get your bucket of cookies, then you walk over to the milk and you spend 20, 30 minutes
cone
there.
Of cookies. The bucket's too much. But
the bucket you take with on your bus back to your car.
We're not riding a bus back to my car. Yeah, we're going on the 26th, and Liam and I bring a good chunk of change and just have fun. We're going to do some shopping this year.
And why is your husband exempt from this fantastic journey as well?
Hates the state fair.
Why?
And Liam and I love it. I love going to try the different foods and walking around and people watching and some of the attractions. But Stephanie texted that they always watch the spectacular shows, the All-Star Stunt Dog Splash. And then her husband watches the Timber Works Lumberjack show.
Oh, those are cool. The Lumberjack shows are pretty dope.
That's pretty cool. Manly men right there.
Hey, Sarah, who's your daddy?
My daddy is the State Fair Board president this year.
How did he get that gig?
So he has been involved with the State Fair for many years. So every time a new session comes around, they elect a new president, kind of like any other president.
Yeah.
He oversees the board of directors. So it's really awesome. He's really passionate about the fair and bringing education to agriculture, a lot of the cultural exhibits. It's really cool. I love going down there.
Why do they switch up presidents so much? Wouldn't you want somebody, like, if they're doing it right, to stay in that position?
Yeah, I think it's like anything else.
You have an actual general manager of the fair who runs the day-to-day. This oversees the board, like any, let's say, a business board. So he gets to look at the events that they're bringing in each year, making sure that everybody has a good time overall. Pretty
nice.
much.
How many times have you had to help out? Like your whole life?
Not at the state fair. We did a lot at the county fair.
Okay.
He was involved with the Benton County Fair for 100 years, it seems like. But state fair is really interesting because there's so much for everyone. And something to think about, if people feel it's cost prohibited, there's no rules saying that you can't bring your own cooler of food and water and etc. Because there's a lot of free events at the fair where you can go to the concerts and see a show. outside the grandstand. There's plenty other stages available.
You know what I love? I love the talent show. That's one of my favorites. Get a big thing of cookies and just watch people and how talented they are and how you're not.
I would never try out for anything like that.
Sarah, I guess the biggest question is, and I'm really glad you called this morning. Thank you for your time. Before we let you go, could you possibly get us an interview with the pig with the big nuts?
I don't know him personally, but
your dad doesn't know his name. It's got to be something great, like Henry, Alex. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing: it's a new one each year. It's this giant contest where people actually feed their pigs to get huge just for this event.
Yeah,
I don't know. It kind of creeps me out.
What do they eat to make them that
how
big?
do you get your nuts that big?
I don't know. I'm not
asking for a friend.
No.
Have you ever swam in Lake Mead, gone boating?
No, but
Lake
this
Mead?
place is now a place I will probably never go.
I know. That's the thing. I've gone there twice with my mom's family, and we've gone boating. Just to think that there are human remains almost daily popping up.
For the fourth time since May 1st, human remains were discovered this weekend at Lake Mead as water levels continue to decline. Officials say rangers got a call around 11:15 Saturday morning about skeletal remains at Swim Beach. That's the same area another body was found back on July 25th. The latest remains have been recovered, and the Clark County Medical Examiner will determine the cause of death.
Just to see the water table and how much it's gone down over the last decade, and how much water like Vegas takes from them, from the lake.
Yeah.
Acres and acres to power.
They're in the desert, man. They got to get the water.
16 months. I know, but they're like, why can't we pump it in from California? Why can't we do that instead of taking from Lake Mead?
There's a lot of solutions that are going to need to be made, but I think it's just. I mean, think about that. What if your son or your daughter was a missing person for 10 years?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden these pop up. Is that better or worse?
I don't know how long they've been down there, and then the boats that have capsized, and now they're just on dry land. It's some crazy footage. All right, so they call it the Tennessee top hat, the El Camino headrest, Camaro hair, hockey hair, but or the 1090. Business in the front. And a party in the back. The mullet making a comeback, sadly, throughout nationwide competitions that are being held. But there is a massive one, the USA Mullet Championships, as competitors compete for part of a $2,500 kitty.
That's it?
That's it.
That was a lower class haircut back in the day, but now, like I said, I get businessmen that wear them. But we get a lot of mullets.
No, you don't?
It's coming back. Everything comes back.
December of 2019, I started growing it out. At first, my mom was a little hesitant, but then I pulled out some pictures from 1989 with my dad with a mullet, and then she couldn't say much.
So that's how you're wrecking it up. I get it. All right.
All right. So this is so funny. An influencer demonstrating the 4 different ways that women receive compliments.
You look really cute. I know. You look really cute.
You look really cute.
Oh, but I really like your outfit. Like it's just.
I like your outfit.
And your hair looks really pretty.
Yeah, your hair looks really good.
You look really cute.
Are you serious? No, I look crazy.
You look cute.
Thank you.
How would you expect somebody to take that? I think guys just hope women say thank you. Take a compliment today. I'm the worst. I do that all the time. If someone's like, Kat, you are stunning in public, like up close.
This happens often?
I'm like, yeah, too often. So I really have to work on myself, look within, and just be able to take those compliments and move on with my day. And that is the 4 before you hit the door.
You're so humble.
No, I'm not.
Next trip you plan on taking?
Oh, weird. Okay, we're going to talk about that just after 9 o'clock. I sent an email to my girl Amy at Busch, and we have that $1,500 flight credit.
Yeah.
And
burning a hole in your pocket, isn't it?
It is, because we have to use it by the end of December. So I'm like, where are we going to go? So I think I have an idea. I don't want to say too much because I don't know if it is going to be in the price range I told her. But yeah, we're going to
My wife
maybe
is
go to Florida.
arranged for, we were going to go to Chicago here in about a month, but then I broke my neck, and we decided bumping into everybody at Wrigley Field with a broken neck would be stupid, so we're not going to go. But my wife has arranged for our entire family to do Christmas in Colorado this year.
That will be beautiful.
Yeah, we're going to go to Breckenridge and spend a week.
Are you going to stay in the condos, like the mall at Breckenridge? Like how they have the
we
village?
got a verbal because it's my family and then Abby's family.
Oh.
And so there's like 10 of us staying in a verbal.
Okay.
That's like right at the bottom of this mountain. And very, very excited about that. But I was reading this. If you're planning on flying anytime soon, there's a couple big things that frequent flyers are saying you need to be aware of so that you can get through TSA a little bit more quickly and everybody can keep going. Number 4, check behind you before reclining your seat. Obviously, you want to make sure somebody's not sitting forward and working on a laptop and stuff like that. Number 3, have your boarding pass on hand before you get to the gate. Like, these seem like common sense things, right?
Yeah, like why don't they know that?
Number 2, after walking through security with your shoes off, don't stand in everyone's way. Take your stuff off to one of the areas by the benches and then put your shoes on, put your backpack on, get your purse together, stuff like that. But the number one biggest thing, they say that this is slowing everybody down at the airport, is you got to take off your jewelry before you go through security.
Yes. You do not wear jewelry to the airport. But they let you keep your wedding ring on.
Yeah, but I mean, most of it, like if you've got you got a necklace, a pendant on, whatever, you got rings, earrings, whatever, that kind of stuff. Just do a favor.
Yeah.
Get through there. Everybody's trying to get to their plane in time so we can sit for 2 hours and wait for that plane to be late.
Yeah. You know, we are planning our London trip. My mom is taking me to London
doing this still.
for my 40th birthday. Why?
It's just you and your mom?
No, and Liam.
But you're leaving your husband in the
Derek
States.
doesn't want to go to London.
This blows me. He's got a free trip to London if he wants it.
No, I have a free trip to London. She is treating me for my birthday.
So you got to pay for your kid to come with you and your mom.
But listen, I won't be 40 for a few years, so I have a few years.
Like 22 years. That'll be so long until you're 40.
My mom has gone there several times, so she's the one kind of planning the trip, and she went over it at lunch the other day with me and Liam, and it's going to be a good time.
How long are you going to be there?
Just like 8 days. So you burn and turn.
Wait,
it only takes 5.5 hours to get there.
Do you hear that?
What?
Just wait, do you hear that?
What?
I can hear your husband cheering from your home
Can
right
you hear
now.
him chomping on his Taco Bell and just playing his Xbox and living life?
Loose. The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend.